Hey guys, John from Perfect Follow-Up, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can take data from external sources and get it into your CRM. So if you've watched the other training videos so far, you already know that we have native integration with things like Google, Google My Business, Facebook, Instagram, Stripe, and others. You can also import your contact lists in bulk in a pretty easy and quick one-step process too. But what if you're, say, generating leads from Home Advisor or Angie or Thumbtack or some other external software, and you need to get that into your Perfect Follow-Up account, right? Because we want to nurture those leads and we want to convert them into customers. What you can do is to use a product called Zapier. All right. And what Zapier is going to do essentially is create a net on the web where you can throw data into it and capture it. And once Zapier has a hold of that information, you can then bridge the gap and import it into your Perfect Follow-Up account. So just think of Zapier like this big net in the sky, and you have other applications all around, and we're instructing those applications to send that lead data into our net. And then we can take that information from our net and we can import it down into your account. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do that and also give you some good tips on things to avoid to save you a lot of frustration. So the first thing that you want to do if you don't have one already is to set up your Zapier account. So Zapier.com, put your information in. You do have to have at least the step above the default account. I think it's called Starter. But the Zap that we're looking to use is called a Webhook, all right? And I don't believe the Webhook works on the basic free plan, but trust me, it's going to make your life so much easier. So once you have that signed up, the first step you're going to do is you want to go over to the My Apps menu item, okay? And I already have a lot of these configured, obviously, but what you're looking for is Lead Connector. And Lead Connector is going to be the way that we connect your Perfect Follow-Up account into Zapier. All right, so here we have it here. Just click on and connect. And now what you want to do here, as you can see, I have multiple connections to multiple accounts, but yours will look probably blank. The first thing you'll do here is add a connection. And it's going to ask you for the API key for your Perfect Follow-Up account. Now, where you find that is quite easy. Just simply go into your account, go down to Settings, and then Business Information, and you'll see your API key right here. Okay, and if you actually just click on the copy clipboard, that'll go right to your clipboard. Now, don't mistake that for your location ID. That's something different. All right, so we want the API key. Once you have that, just simply paste it in and press yes to continue. All right, we'll go back to Zapier. And as you can see, we have a new connection added. Now, what I do highly recommend is to rename this something that's easy to identify in the future, especially if you have multiple accounts with us and multiple companies or multiple connections, just to keep things sorted in the future when you're actually building these apps, which we'll do in a minute here. So for Lead Connector, I'm just going to go over here and rename this. And I'm going to just put a hyphen and then we'll say demo account because that's what we're using, a demo account. Now I know that inside of Zapier, we have a connection with our demo account in Perfect Follow-Up. All right, so that's step one. Now let's actually build the connections. Let's build the Zaps. Okay, so we're going to go over here to Zaps and we're going to create a new one. And what we're looking for here is a webhook. All right, and as you can see, these are only available on the premium plan. I think it's like 10 bucks, 20 bucks a month, depending on how many actions you're going to build here. But generally, it's very cost effective for the power it gives you. But just select the webhooks by Zapier. And for the event, we're going to select Catch Hook. All right, once you select that, just press continue. and then continue one more time. Now, what you'll see here is we're provided with a webhook URL. Okay, so let's pause here for a minute. This URL is that net that I was speaking to before. So if you're working with another software partner, or you're working with another lead generation source like the Home Advisors, the Angie Lists, the Thumbtacks, whoever they are, you want to give them this URL. So you'll simply email that to them and say, hey guys, please send all of our data into this webhook URL. Most companies take 24 to 48 hours to do that. I'll show you a trick where you don't have to be staring at the screen waiting for it to come in, but that's what you need to send to them for your net. All right, so let's move on. So right now, clearly nothing has been sent to us. So there's no data inside of Zapier. So what do we do? Well, I always like to test it because it's the next step. You can just test it or skip it. There's no data in here. It'll be blank. And there we go, no request, right? So let's skip the test. And the next step here is to have an action into lead connector that we just set up, right? Now here's the thing. We want to choose the event, and it's eventually going to be add or update opportunity. If you want to, and this will make more sense as you play with this, but you can also do things like update contacts. You can add lead information to a campaign. You can stop campaigns. There's all sorts of things in here you can do. The most common use case is you're taking lead information from somewhere and you want to import it down to your perfect follow-up account and put them in a sales pipeline. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. Add update opportunity. Press continue. Now remember, it needs to know which perfect follow-up account you want to connect to, right? You might have more than one. So let's select, and again, we find our demo account here and continue. Now, let's step back for another second here, right? Because there's no information in step one. We don't have anyone sending us data into your webhook, so there's nothing that we can use to send down to perfect follow-up. So for now, we have to kind of pause here and wait. All right, but I wanted to show you what the second step looked like just so you could have a visual. We are kind of stuck in limbo because I can't publish this. I can't even save this. It's going to be in an error state because of the lack of information. But what we'll do here in the future is we'll map the fields in Lead Connector from the information we captured from the Zap, right? So very simply, we just go through this list, first name, and then if there was information and data in here, we'd have a first name, from your webhook, right? Same thing for last name, full name, phone number. But for now, let me show you that trick that I mentioned before, so you're not waiting around wondering where the information is. So let's go ahead and delete this. And what I like to do while I'm waiting is set up a second step, which is SMS by Zapier. Okay. And this is already set up, so we won't go through the full wizard, but it's very easy to follow along. Basically, you want to create an SMS step, but I'm already in here, right? So I'm going to choose my cell phone number that I set up previously. And then a simple message, demo account, received Zap info from, let's say, Home Advisor. Okay, that's what the text message is going to say. So we'll go ahead and continue, and we can even test it if we want. We'll see my phone will beep here in a second. There we go. And now we're all set up. So what's going to happen now, go grab a sandwich, because there's no sense in sitting in front of the screen when we have that text message notification for us. All right, so let's step back for a second and cover what we did. The first step we did was we created a connection to your perfect follow-up account, right? Lead connector. And we renamed it so we knew what sub-account it's associated with. The second step that we took was we created the actual Zap. And the first task, the first action inside of that Zap would be to create the webhook, grab the URL, and send that to the person that's sending us data. Send them an email, let them know that they need to send their data into that URL. All right. While we're waiting, we created a second step, which is send SMS. And we configured a cell phone so we can receive a text message with a simple note that we received data from X or Y. And that way we know that the lead information is coming into our system. What we'll do at that point is come back into this Zap and delete this step, and then finish the configuration where we're connecting it into Lead Connector. All right, and we're very simply going to just map one-to-one, add update opportunity first, choose our account, and then just plug in first name, which will be listed here, last name, full name, phone number, email, whatever information that we have. I also like to put in some notes, maybe the lead OID number or the lead cost or the lead source. Maybe there's some questions that are being asked of the lead when they're filling out the form, and you can put that information in the notes field, which will show up very nicely in the opportunity card of your account. So let me show you an example here from Facebook. If we went to Abigail and we looked at the notes, we would see that information populated here. So some pretty cool things that we can do, right? But let's circle back, because when we complete this second step, it's important to actually put them in a pipeline. So the pipeline we're going to put them in would be Home Advisor and then the new lead stage. But we will do that right here. So select the pipeline Home Advisor, and then the stage is going to be new lead. And then once you have all these fields filled in, you'll simply publish it and you're good to go. And then moving forward, as lead information comes into your webhook, it'll automatically be captured by Zapier and then automatically sent down to Lead Connector into your Perfect Follow-Up account, which will land in your Home Advisor pipeline stage new lead. How cool is that? All right, so in this video, we're going to cover how to set up the second step to get your data captured by the webhook into Perfect Follow-Up. So at this point, the assumption is that you've validated that you are receiving lead information within your webhook, and we'll set up the second step now. So just to validate, let's click on the first step here for webhooks. Continue, refresh, continue again, and you'll see that we have collected information from the webhook, such as the person's name, their address, and a bunch of other great information. So now that we've confirmed that, we'll move forward. But if you're not seeing this, click on the data field and then load more. All right, so let's continue. And now we're in the second step, which was the notification by text message when lead data arrived. We no longer need that, so let's simply delete that step. And then we're going to add Lead Connector. All right, so let's choose our event, which is Add Update Opportunity, because we're going to put this lead information into your CRM's sales pipeline. And let's choose the account, just in case you have several. And now here's the easy part. So what we're simply going to do is go down all of these fields and place the dynamic variable so we can auto-populate. And what's going to happen here is as data flows through your webhook, Zapier will automatically place things in the right field and then send that information down to Perfect Follow-Up to create that opportunity in your pipeline. So first name is first. And what we'll do here is we'll search the webhook data fields for first name. And if you need to expand, just click on Show All Options, and we'll see first name. All right, now it's going to give you the information that's in your sample, but just remember, we're not typing Brian in manually. That won't work. We're just using the variable link field. All right, so the next one is last name. And for first name, if that exists, you can use it. I typically do first name space last name. Now, if you have trouble finding a particular piece of information, you can also search. And you can see how easy this is. Now for tags, you can enter tags when it comes into perfect follow-up or anytime afterwards. That can be automated within your workflow. You have the option to do it through Zapier as well. So what I'm going to do here is just put Angie and we'll place that tag. Now you'll notice I typed in Angie manually. It's not a dynamic field. It's something that's static that I want applied to everyone. Source is just another field to populate your opportunity card. And of course, the source of this lead is Angie. Mark as lead, true. Now for the notes field, this is a great opportunity to put more information into your opportunity card under notes. So what I usually search for are the questions that were asked of this lead when they filled out the form. And if you scroll through, you can see things like comments. So what we'll do here is just write comments on the first line. And let's see what else is in here. So this could be, see, interview question. So type of insects. So we don't want the question, right? We'll type that in manually, but we want the answer. All right, so we're going to do type of pest. And this could be anything. This could be square footage of the house. It could be your favorite color. It could be what flavor of ice cream you like. We're just taking the answers that the lead filled out and we're populating that in their notes card. The lead fee may be something of interest. Lead cost is often something that we want to record. All right, great. So you see the notes field, we have comments from the lead, the type of pest, and of course the lead cost. Now for the pipeline, we're going to choose Home Advisor. And we'll place them in the lead-in stage. And that's it. Continue. And we can test and continue this. I'll switch over to our opportunity pipeline. Notice there's no one here. And once we test this, we'll see that information populate. All right, so going forward, as leads come into your webhook from Home Advisor /Angie, we'll automatically get that information, create an opportunity. We will add the source, we will tag it, and also if you view the notes, you'll see the comments, type of pest, and lead cost information is all in the notes field. And that's it. Just remember to publish it and you're done.